Hello everyone, this is Evan from the RU Vlogs. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple but effective YouTube video thumbnail in Photoshop. And if you spend any amount of time on YouTube, you'll know that simple is pretty much all you need. You hardly ever see anyone putting significant amounts of detail and effort into their thumbnails because all it is just trying to get people's attention. So what I'm going to do today, I got my video uploading, my most recent vlog, and I'm going to make a thumbnail for it. So I'm not going to waste all your time with self-promotion. I'm just going to point out real quickly that we are a small channel and we would appreciate any support in terms of subscriptions, likes, views, shares, comments, because you have the opportunity right now at our stage of development to be a very important part of a growing and involved, dedicated YouTube channel and community. The crew and I have been making consistent and I think quality content for a little bit, and we definitely would appreciate any support. And it wouldn't just be for us, because I think that we are creating quality content and you would yourself benefit from the entertainment, and this in particular, the utility of this tutorial if it provides you any sort of help. So this is obviously just my method of making it. If you look through any of my videos, particularly my vlogs, you will see that I have a certain style that I do it with. So what I do generally is I go in my video, this is in Sony Vegas, but that doesn't really matter. I look for a certain frame. So a lot of times in my video I will pose, sort of, for the thumbnail. So as you can see there, I was posing for this thumbnail. So I generally just look through the frames to see one that's clear and one that is good. I think that's pretty good. So let me get the text out of there. So if you're in Vegas, what you do is save the snapshot to wherever. So this is vlog 11. Then you go over to Photoshop. Now I believe this is CS6, but what I'm doing is basic enough that you don't really need, like, it doesn't really matter what particular version you have. I'm pretty sure all of them are able to do this. So this is basically universally for Photoshop. What I do first, I go to of course I load in the image and also layer from background. That's pretty useful to do. So I go over here on the sort of menu and I click the quick selection tool. Now sometimes this isn't really effective, but what I do is I select myself and whatever the subject is that I want. As you can see, it won't always be accurate, but what I do here is I do layer via copy and I mute or make the layer below this one, invisible. And from here I just delete any space that is not part of what I want to be highlighted. So the reason I'm doing this is I'm not gonna make this lighter, but I'm gonna make the background darker in comparison, so that this pops out more, so it's more contrasted. So I get the eraser, and I generally do brush. There's different methods you could do to cut stuff out, but the one I find to be most accurate is just good old-fashioned erasing. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, it's a simple thumbnail. People are only going to look at it for a couple seconds. They're not going to scrutinize it that much, and as long as it portrays the sort of message you're trying to get, then it's fine. So you don't even have to do this level of detail, but this is how I cut stuff out usually, because I am a little bit of a I don't know, fiend for details and stuff like that. if you don't know what I'm doing to make the straight lines, once you click with the eraser tool, you can hold down shift and then click somewhere else and it'll do a straight line from there to there. Once everything that you need to be deleted is deleted, hold up, missed that. So once everything is deleted, bring back the visibility of the bottom layer, and then right click on this and then do blending options. One thing I will note that you probably won't be able to do this particular method if you have Photoshop Elements, which is just the dumbed down version, but I don't know who even has that except my school, so that's the only thing that I noticed, that they don't have the blending options. But even if you do only have that, there's so many different ways you can make a thumbnail. It's really entirely up to you what you do with your thumbnail. This is just my method. So right click on the bottom layer, and what I do is inner shadow, opacity full, no distance, and size all the way. And then I also do the color overlay. I set that to black, and I make the opacity. It's up to you what you want the opacity to be. All that does is just change the darkness of the background, but I have been consistently doing it at 35. I think that darkens it subtly enough that it's not over the top, but also definitely highlights the subject that you want. Now for the text. So in terms of text for thumbnails, you want it to be big enough to read, thick enough to read, and you want the color to stick out, and you also want it to be like a readable font. So like if you look through here, you can find fonts all over the internet, I'm sure. I'm not telling you anything new by telling you that, but you want to look for one, like just look here at the ones you have and see which ones you can easily read from a distance, and then find one that fits your sort of style, mood, aesthetic, whatever. For my videos I use Agency and Agency FB because Agency doesn't have the pound sign, which I do for the number. So I do Agency. So basically any sans serif type of font like this is good for thumbnails. I think impact type fonts are good. And I do it, this particular image is 1920 by 1080 because that's what my video is, and I took it straight from the video. So 350 looks like that in a 1080p frame. So obviously depending on your frame size, depending on how big you want everything, you're gonna have to adjust that, but for this word in my series of vlogs, I put this at 350. Then add more text. I make this line a little smaller, and I make this red, a certain type of red, for all my vlogs to keep it consistent. So yeah. Then another one. Obviously if you're not doing exactly what I'm doing, you can change all this up for your own purposes, the amount of words, the amount of lines, obviously the particular words, the colors and everything, and the font, of course. It's all up to you, but I'm just showing you what I do. I like to switch up the color. I generally highlight one word, which is, in my vlog series, it's quarantine, so I highlight that by making it a different color. And then this is where Agency FB comes in. 11. Agency does not have this particular character, so I switched that to FB because it's pretty similar. So then from here, sometimes I need to space the stuff out a little bit more. make it sort of equal, but really no one's gonna notice. And if you notice my videos, you notice that quarantine usually is behind this, so that's simple. Just drag the layer for that particular word behind whatever you want it to be behind. So it's like you can still tell what it's about to say, but it just sort of fades behind it. That's most of what it is. And then right click on that, do blending options again. This is optional, but I think it makes it stick out more. Generally, when it has a black outline, unless it's black, but if it has a black outline, that's going to make any color be readable against any background, especially if it's white. But this particular red is kind of a light red, so it sticks out good. That's why I chose it. I do stroke 5, and then I also do drop shadow, which helps a little bit. Change the angle, opacity, all this however you want. You can sort of tell what it's doing over there, and then the size, sort of blur it. And then if you want that to be on your other frames, your other layers as well, just right click that, click copy layer style, and then right click on the other layers and paste layer style. So then, as you can see, all these pictures are consistent. So that's most of it. That's pretty much it, except I generally also add my logo, because why not? Did I click save as? I meant to click open. I bring in my little circular icon logo, and I put that in the corner to sort of watermark it. Do that at like, I don't know, 12%. Then, voila, you have a DRU style thumbnail. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have Photoshop, I think if you don't have Photoshop, you should definitely get it, or at least try it out. There's a free trial. I believe it is the most useful, and it's definitely the most useful tool you can use for editing pictures, if that's something that you're serious about. So save that wherever you want it, someplace you can remember. Make sure the quality is all the way up if you care about that. And then you can go to your YouTube video and upload the thumbnail. So there it is. My video is uploaded and processing now. So there you go. Like I said, please do subscribe. Please do share any video on our channel that you find useful or entertaining, because that's the goal of most of our videos. We don't generally do tutorials that much, but I figure this is where I want to put it because I'm trying to get this channel to grow. So there you go. That was my tutorial on how to make a DRU style YouTube thumbnail. As you can see, it's pretty small right now, but you can still read the words. That's what you want. And you can see clearly highlighted the subject. So there you go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for watching.